He left the country in 1997 for the United States in search of a safer and better life for his family. While there, he suffered a life-threatening injury, with doctors believing if he survived, he will never be able to walk again. Today on the show, we bring you the miraculous story of Evangelist Isaac Kariuki, the founder of Diaspora Messenger Media based in Maryland. Welcome to the show.
I have experienced everything that a Kenyan in the U.S. experienced, and now I can use that experience to comfort somebody.
Isaac Kariuki grew up in Kiambu County. He attended Langata High School and upon finishing in 1977, found himself joining the Human Development Training Institute run by the Institute of Cultural Affairs, an American organization that was focused on village development.
That's where I got my training, and I was trained as a social worker. And after that, I started working with the Institute of the Institute of Cultural Affairs, and we did development. So through Institute of Cultural Affairs, I was able to go around the country in Kenya, helping villages to do human development or village community development.
After working at ICA for close to 5 years, Isaac got a job at the YMCA Nairobi, coordinating international activities for the welfare movement. From his experience working there, he eventually started a travel business with his colleagues in 1990. And it was during this time that the decision to relocate to the United States came along.
1997 to me was a very difficult year, and I remember around May or June, we were going towards an election that was coming in December, if I can remember. And there were kind of routes every other day. There was a travel advisory from most of the developed countries. And when my bookings were cancelled, I was there debating, saying even if the elections came and they were okay, I didn't see how I was going to recover.
And so, in October 22nd, 1997, Isaac left Kenya for the United States.
I went with the mind that I'm not coming back. I'm taking my family, and that's what happened. So I took my family, my wife, and 2 kids then. My elder son was 6 years old. My young son was 2.5 years old, and put them in one plane, and we flew off. That's how it all started. I didn't have a plan. And I didn't tell my wife that. If I told my wife I don't have a plan, maybe she would have, what are you talking about? You don't have a plan. But all I was caring about is getting out.
Unfortunately, this lack of proper planning resulted in a lot of difficulty for Isaac and his family.
Apparently, where we were living in Tampa, Florida, where my friend was, there were no Kenyans. So, and here I am, and I want to stay, but there is nobody to guide me, to tell me how to do it. It was very rough. Baptism by fire. When we got there and I'm interacting and I'm told that here, without a social security number, you cannot work, and that's where the reality check came in.
But Isaac did not give up. He did every kind of job that came his way, from waiting tables to being a cashier at a health food store. Isaac was determined to make it, and in time, his efforts bore fruit when he moved to Maryland.
And I discovered an organization that we had started in the U.S. then called Kenya Christian Fellowship in America. And I became part of Kenya Christian Fellowship in America. And I ended up a year later becoming the chairman of Kenya Christian Fellowship in America in the year 2000. I knew it was a miracle.
This miracle was indeed an answered prayer, and with the appointment, Isaac became the leader of the Kenyan community in the region.
The Kenyan community was not as big as today. So I remember that I had a big database. So if something happened in the community, I'll be told, and it will be through me that I'll be able to communicate through other Kenyans to tell them what's going on.
And this position was not only a welcome change, but it also signified a new beginning for him and his family. Apart from economic stability, Isaac was even able to buy a house. However, in 2004, things took a turn for the worse as Isaac experienced a life-threatening ordeal.
When we bought our house, it came with a very big tree that was right outside my house. And a year later, after we bought a house, we had one of the biggest hurricanes that came through. So after that, I thought I had to do something to cut the tree because it was dangerous. So in Kenya, if you have a tree, you sell it, you make money. Here I'm told that it will cost me a lot of money to cut it, money I didn't have. So I told one of my friends who had just come from Kenya, and he told me, hii tunaweza kata. This one we can do it.
And it was during this process that Isaac fell from the topmost part of the tree, resulting in a life-threatening injury.
So when I fell down, because of the weight on this side, this leg, my pelvis went through my hip bone went through the pelvis. So, and I cracked my pelvis all the way around. And I dug the concrete with my fingers. You can see these marks over here. So these fingers literally went inside. The only thing I was worried about is dying. I knew it was that bad.
Isaac was immediately ferried to the hospital, but the extent of his injuries even perturbed the doctors, who believed that even if he survived, he would not be able to walk again.
They told me how my pelvis went through my hip bone went through the pelvis, how my pelvis has fractured all around, how my hand, is completely mangled, and they told me they can't do anything. It was beyond what they can do. So they said, we are sorry, we can't help you.
So Isaac was airlifted to a different city and admitted to a shock and trauma hospital in Baltimore.
The recovery started taking place right there in the hospital because instead of staying for 6 months, in 2 weeks, they told me they're going to transfer him to a rehab hospital. After 2 weeks, they told us, well, he looks well enough to go home. I was shocked.
And it is through this miraculous experience that Isaac was inspired into becoming an evangelist.
It doesn't matter the experience. It doesn't matter where you're coming from. God has not forgotten you. Amen?
Amen.
That is where it all started. I had a calling to use my testimony to be able to evangelize, to be able to reach out to people, tell them how God is able. If He can heal me, I mean, I am a walking miracle. I have experienced everything that a Kenyan in the U.S. experienced, and now I can use that experience to comfort somebody.
Part of this evangelism is through his media company diasporamessenger.com, which he established in 2007. It is a platform where Kenyans in the diaspora can get access to information relevant to them. But what was the need for this?
Here in Kenya, we are part of a larger community. We have brothers, sisters, cousins. So an example is if a wife gives birth, she's not alone. She's surrounded by, relatives. So in the U.S., you are an individual. You don't have all those connections. So the Kenyan community is very, very important. So when you get over there, the person who speaks your language, that is your brother and sister.
It is also through Diaspora Messenger that Isaac also assists Kenyans in the diaspora make smart investments back home through liaising with companies like Optiven.
I have been, working with Optiven now as part of Diaspora Messenger. When they come to the U.S., I'm able to connect them with the Kenyans. And the reason I do that is because they are able to help Kenyans to invest back home. And now most of the Kenyans have the confidence to invest back. That confidence had gone, a few years back. But now because of such organization like Optiven, Kenyans now have that, that courage.
He, however, does admit that establishing a company in the States was not easy.
It was not easy because, remember, this is a free service that we are giving to the community. We are not charging anything. We have to put a lot of money, even today, and the work, it takes a lot of work.
Based on everything he has gone through, Evangelist Isaac Kariuki attributes all his success to divine intervention.
I credit all that to my faith. I came to the U.S. as a born-again Christian, And it's that faith that took us and carried us. That is what I use to encourage other people. You know, when you have God on your side, you know, even when it gets rough, the promise is He will be there with us.
He further encourages other Kenyans to never give up on their goals, no matter the situation.
Life is a journey. It's a journey. And you know, when you're going on a journey, it is never smooth. Whatever road you take, you will go up the mountain, you will come down, you will go through the valleys, and depending if you're barefoot, you will cross the rivers, you will, whatever. And that's what life is all about.
And this is the advice he has on our Diaspora Bite.
I know that today there are many people who have that, you know, passion to dare and go. But it is different today than it was, you know, before. I will tell somebody, before you dare to just go there, make sure that you do the right thing. That means you're coming there with some kind of papers, because it is very rough. It is not like it was before.
Evangelist Kariuki's story is one of miracle upon miracle. From being unemployed in a foreign land, surviving a near-death experience, to running his own successful media company. His is a testament to what one can achieve with determination and faith. Until next week, I'm Michael Zimanji.